This is Cole Palmer, a guy who takes risks, laughs, and still sends the ball straight into the top corner. Just yesterday, he was playing in cages in his own neighborhood, and today he is tearing up the Premier League and making Stamford Bridge go crazy. At 14, this guy was almost released from City's academy, too fragile. The academy director, Jason Wilcox, objected, "We're not lifting weights here." The boy stayed, and 5 years later, he was already leading the U18 team to the final of the Youth League with the captain's armband. His debut for the first team came in the autumn of 2020. His first goal, a year later, against Wycombe. And a month later, he came onto the pitch in Bruges and scored his first goal in the Champions League. Two touches, a first touch, a step, a shot into the far corner. But then began Guardiola's real labyrinth. Today, Cole is a false nine. Tomorrow, an eight. The day after, a right winger. And the minutes on the scoreboard are still just as few. Across 3 full Premier League seasons, he played only 490 minutes. He sends the club a request for a transfer. A couple of weeks later, Pep will tell the journalists, "He wanted to play more. I understand him." On September 1st, 2023, just a few hours before the transfer window closed, Chelsea transferred £42 million to City's account. Cole steps out of Pep's glass palace and for the first time in many years opens a map where minutes do not look like a luxury, but are simply called the game. The glass partitions of Manchester are replaced by the smell of freshly cut grass at Stamford Bridge. Cole steps onto the pitch in blue for the first time. 7 minutes against Nottingham Forest, a 0-1 defeat, and an instant sting. Here, too, he will have to endure before becoming needed. A month later, patience pays dividends. Burnley lead 1-0. Sterling wins a penalty, and Palmer takes the ball without any discussion. The strike, and the score is 1-1. It is Cole's first Premier League goal and the first step toward the status of a regular penalty taker. London celebrates the newcomer in its own way. In the underpass at Fulham Broadway Station, a graffiti appears, "Cold Palmer," the very gesture with frozen hands, which he will repeat many more times. October 21st, a London derby against Arsenal. Cole steps up to the spot again and calmly sends Raya and the ball to opposite corners. Later, the Gunners will pull 2 goals back, but the fact remains. Pochettino's team gains a figure capable of freezing any away stand. Even the Premier League, in its report, will use the phrase "cold shot." Inside the club, the changes are felt quickly. In training, Palmer remains quiet, but the ball leaves his foot with the same sharpness as in his Manchester days. If at the end of the Manchester labyrinth he had 490 minutes across 3 years, then by November at Chelsea he accumulates almost the same in just 10 match days. The ice has been broken, and the story finally finds a way out of the dead end. Palmer against his former club, Manchester City. The stadium freezes as the former City player steps up to the spot. 1 second, and the ball flies past Ederson, like the needle of a frozen compass. By Christmas, he is already influencing results more often than any other Chelsea player. 7 goals and 4 assists in the Premier League, and every third attack of the team goes through his left foot. Fans stick Cold Zone stickers onto the turnstiles of Broadway, and the club shop orders an emergency shipment of shirts. Palmer jerseys sell out faster than match programs on Boxing Day. The ice has not just been broken. It instantly turned into an ice rink, on which Chelsea begin to draw a new route. A match between Chelsea and Manchester United. The scoreboard shows 3-3. The 100th minute is underway. Palmer shoots from distance and scores his third goal of the night, sealing the latest winning goal in Premier League history, 100 minutes and 39 seconds. April 15th, Chelsea against Everton. In the first 29 minutes, Cole completes a perfect hat trick, left foot, right foot, and a header. After the break, he adds a penalty as well. 4 goals in one night pull him into the Golden Boot race alongside Haaland. NBC will call it half an hour of perfection, and the fan section will come up with a new banner. On Palmer's planet, there is no atmosphere, only ice. April ends with a cascade of awards. 7 goals in 4 match days earned Cole the Player of the Month trophy, the first for a Chelsea player since Eden Hazard. May sets the final numbers: 22 goals and 11 assists, 33 goal contributions, third place in the scoring race, the status of the most productive English player of the season. At the final press conference, when asked what he learned over the year, Pochettino only spreads his hands. When Cole is on the pitch, the best thing you can do is pass him the ball in time and step aside. Around the streets of Stamford Bridge, a mythology of its own takes shape quickly. In November, a London stencil artist cuts out Cole's portrait directly onto the side of a van, a face made of white crystals. The signature, Cole Palmer. And the video immediately spreads across social media. Meme culture picks up the wave. On TikTok, more than 20,000 videos with the hashtag Cole Palmer appear in a single month. Some add the sound of a freezer to his penalties. Others edit compilations with the caption, "Penalty Merchant," an ironic jab at those who believe Cole lives only off the penalty spot. Inside the team, a half-joking cult of penalty takers begins to grow. But Noni Madueke explains it simply. Mix us together, and you get a volcano made of ice. Cole himself remains detached from the noise, but the legal department earns its salary for a reason. In January 2024, the club files an application for the Cole Palmer trademark and the signature gesture with trembling hands. By the time April's records are still only approaching, a real microclimate of jokes, street art, and rustling boxes of new merchandise already surrounds Cole. But the icy calm remains the same. To every "you're just a penalty taker," he responds with another precise strike into the bottom corner. Late September 2024. Stamford Bridge still tastes bitter from memories of past failed campaigns, but under bright blue floodlights, the first icy firework ignites. Chelsea against Brighton. Cole Palmer scores a historic 4-goal haul in 45 minutes. 4 goals, including a free kick from 30 meters. He becomes the first player in Premier League history to score 4 goals before halftime, and immediately receives the Player of the Month award for September. October brings a side quest. Chelsea's debut in the Conference League. The London side thrash Gent 4-2. Enzo Maresca's team goes through the group unbeaten and secures first place early, laying the groundwork for the spring playoffs. By Christmas, Cole already has double figures for goals and assists. In a December match against Tottenham, he extends his penalty record to 12 out of 12 and sets a league record without a single miss, surpassing Yaya Touré's achievement. Winter does not slow down. Chelsea takes 68% of the points in matches where Palmer registers at least 1 goal contribution, and only 40% when he leaves without numbers. By February, the icy formula malfunctions. A run of draws drops the club to 7th place, but on May 4th against Liverpool, everything returns to the circle of ice. A penalty in the 96th minute. Chelsea's latest goal of the season. Immediately after that, Chelsea switched to the European front. In the quarterfinal and semi-final of the Conference Cup, opponents seemed to collide with a wall of cold. Palmer's key passes ignite winning runs. 5-3 against Legia and 5-1 against Djurgården on aggregate. Final round of the Premier League. Chelsea need only one thing, a win to reclaim a ticket to the Champions League. In the second half, the ball, as if searching for a steady hand, rebounds to Colwill. 0-1. After that, the game turns into an exam in composure. Barely had the final whistle sounded when the table froze. 4th place, 69 points. The first qualification for the Champions League in 3 years. In the tunnel, a reporter asked, "2 finals in a week. Isn't that tough?" Palmer replied, "The job isn't finished." Ahead was Roswab. Night fell over Roswaf under a damp fog when Betis took the lead in the 13th minute. Azalzuli struck low, and the scoreboard lit up green and white. 1-0. The section of Spanish fans burst into a roar, but behind the thin glass of the scoreline, a cold front was already rising. Palmer drifted left and laid the ball onto the forehead of Enzo Fernandez. 1-1. 5 more minutes, and the same levitating pass from Palmer finds Nicholas Jackson. 2-1. The Betis end fell silent, as if someone had switched off the sound. Then Sancho and Caicedo delivered the final blows. 4-1. Chelsea became the first English club to collect all 3 active European trophies, and Palmer claimed the Man of the Match award for 2 assists and a record 6 touches inside the opposition box. 2 years ago, he arrived here as a substitute midfielder with ice in his veins. Now his records hung on stadium scoreboards. The first 4-goal haul before halftime in Premier League history, Chelsea's latest winning penalty, and a bronze plaque. The first English club with all 3 European trophies. Ahead lie the national team, new tactical schemes from Maresca, and the Champions League. But the lesson of this season is simple. Thunder can be deafening, but it is the icy silence that decides the outcome. And the name of that silence is Cole Palmer.